All right, we're live.
Hey.
Hello,
Hey.
we're back.
Hello.
Hey.
Yo.
What's up with you guys? How's your week been?
Good. Okay.
It's been interesting. Yeah.
Interesting? Yeah, anything noteworthy to talk about?
I finally watched the Tetris movie.
The
Okay.
Apple one?
Yeah, the Apple one, because I have Apple TV now.
Nice.
Nice. I got a lot of recommendations for you if you're looking for stuff
Well,
to watch.
You can
I
watch
gotta
like
get through
anything
Severance
on there.
first. I gotta get through
Hell yeah,
Severance
that's number
first.
one. That's
Yeah.
how far
Yeah.
into Severance are you?
I haven't started yet because I only watched the
Oh.
Tetris movie like the other day.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
I've
you
been
got
watching
Apple
I've been
TV
watching movies
Plus,
lately.
and immediately you were like, first things first, Tetris movie.
Yeah, genuinely. I was like, okay, I'll queue up the Tetris movie, I'll queue up Severance, and then I'll just whichever one I'm in the mood for. I watch Tetris movie.
What did you think?
Okay.
Like I've been watching a lot of movies this week, so
Nice.
uh I liked it a lot actually. It was way better
Yeah.
than I expected.
It's fun. Yeah.
It very does not take itself seriously, even though it kind of does at times. And I'm just like, this is pretty good.
What about that
Well, and then they
car
put in like
chase
a
though?
weird 8-bit
I
car
love
chase
the
because
car chase. I just
they
think
were
it's the
like,
funniest thing because no one expects the Tetris car chase.
No, that's
well,
right.
and also it's just like this needs to be more of a heist movie, so there needs to be a car chase, which there's no way that happened.
Right.
But it's
Of course
also
not.
to the Russian version of "We Need a Hero" or "I Need a Hero."
It's funny you mentioned that because next week is GDC here in San Francisco.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be busy doing stuff for all next week, but Hank Rogers is there because he has like
Yeah.
a book
Uh-huh.
about Tetris because like of course he does. So they're trying to get
Yeah.
people to come like interview him,
Sure.
and we considered it, but we were like, he's not even like the Tetris guy. So we passed on it, but that's just coincidence that I'll probably be in our same room as him at some point.
Sure.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, like he doesn't even head up the Tetris company anymore. I think his daughter does now. At least that's what it
He's
says at the
prob-
end of the movie.
I would assume so. He's pretty old at this point.
Mm.
But yeah, no, that movie's like fine.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I had a good time. Better
Yeah.
than I expected from it.
Yes, I agree.
I'm just more excited that you're about to start Severance.
Well, we'll see, because I've been also binging the Terminator movies, so we'll see where I end up
Okay.
going after that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would. YouTube keeps serving me all these shorts of like Terminator movies, random clips. I'm just like, I really want to watch Terminator, and I had the 6 movie Blu-ray set, so I was just like, I want to watch Genesis, I want to watch 3, I want to watch 2, and probably gonna watch 1.
Yeah.
So
I'll skip
everyone except
Salvation
Dark
and
Fate.
Dark Fate. I watched like a year or two ago, and like
Okay.
Salvation, I just never liked.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Dark Fate. I thought that movie was pretty fun.
Dark Fate was good. I enjoyed it. I think I like Genesis more because of what they were going for. I just wish they had gotten to continue it.
I've only seen 1, 2, and Dark Fate at this point. Are you planning to watch the Netflix anime that just came out
I had
last
only
year?
heard about that recently, and I've been debating it. Yeah,
I didn't hear anything about it, but yeah, I think it's called Zero.
yeah, Terminator Zero.
Yeah.
I read the synopsis. Apparently, it's about like an AI company working in Japan, and then like I think it's like the day before Judgment Day is supposed to happen. All this nonsense happens.
Okay.
So seemed interesting
Robots.
from the synopsis.
Sure. Well, Apple TV Plus. I mean, Ted Lasso is good for
Yeah,
one season.
Yeah. True.
Shrinking
I keep
is
hearing that
phenomenal. So
shrinking.
yeah, it's another like rom com. Um, Jason Segel stars in
Oh,
it.
this is the one where they this is not the one where they shrink themselves down to like live. No, that's a
No,
Matt Damon
that's
movie,
Honey,
isn't
I
it?
Shrunk the Kids.
No, no. There's a movie
Classic.
where like talking about like people were like literally shrinking themselves so they could take up less space and like their life would be cheaper. It's like downsizing, I think is what the movie's called.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
No, this is a movie about shrinks, like psychologist. Harrison Ford
Okay.
stars in it. It's very funny comedy. Um, Also by the Ted Lasso and Scrubs guy, so there's some good people behind it. Those are my recommendations.
Okay.
Also, Silo, I've heard, is very good.
Oh, Silo's cool if you're looking for some sci-fi stuff. Yeah, Apple
I
TV
mean,
has some great things that
Really
just
good
like
stuff. Yeah.
because not a
by
ton
the
of people
time I
subscribe to it.
get through Severance, it will be many years later at this
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you're picking like a great time to start Severance because we're like 1 or 2 weeks away from the second season finale, so you could kind of watch all of it kind of as and then be caught up with like everyone at the same time almost.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw people freaking out about the last episode or 2 ago, so I'm just like,
Two
"Oh,
episodes
okay."
ago, yeah, that was it. Last episode was kind of but 2 episodes was like incredible. Like holy shit.
Yeah. Good stuff
Paul, I
on there.
think you were thinking about finally starting season 2, weren't you?
That and Mythic Quest, which is also an Apple TV Plus thing. I like Mythic Quest quite
Did
a
you
bit.
end up doing that or no?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. Well, very cool. Anything new with you, Paul, to report?
Nothing crazy. No. Taking it a little easier this week. So just been
Okay.
chill.
Nice.
I saw Mickey 17 last weekend.
Yeah, how was that?
That's great. That
Okay.
was it's funny, it's fun. It's more Snowpiercer than it is Parasite, just in terms of like the goofy aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like Parasite's very like high drama, like the whole time, kind of depressing, and then Snowpiercer's like bleak, but there's just some like weird stuff that happens to make it kind of lighthearted, and that's what
Sure.
Mickey 17 is.
Okay. Cool.
It was
That
good.
sounds cool.
I liked it. But yeah, let's talk about some video games. Top down perspective, March 13th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
John Wheeler.
All right, John, you're the only one that wrote stuff down. So what have you been playing?
Finally finished Shinobi. Excuse me. I finally finished Shinobi for PS2.
Nice.
That sucked to do.
The last boss or whatever, right? You said you were having issues
The
with?
last boss, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the last boss for 5 hours.
Fun. One of those. Okay.
In a comparable amount of time, I went through half the game.
Man.
Or
That's
more,
awful.
I think. I don't even remember. Yeah. No, dude, it was garbage.
So it's just like cheapness?
So, the main gimmick of the game is the Tate meter. Your sword needs like yin energy to not eat your health meter, so you have to keep feeding this meter, otherwise you start dying.
Okay.
And to do that, you have to do Tate combos, which is where you kill 4 characters or more at the same time, and then it like plays a little cutscene, and they give you like triple the amount of energy back. But every time you kill an enemy in a combo, your sword strength goes up by 1. So you have to keep doing this over and over. And it's entirely possible to insta-kill bosses if you pull off a proper Tate. This game, its final boss, basically wants you to do that, but has a disgusting amount of invincibility frames. You can only get the insta-kill if you kill 8 enemies and you hit them in the back. You need the back attack for double damage.
Okay.
He can just be in midair half the time, which completely makes it impossible to get the double damage.
Awesome.
And he has like six moves that also have way too much invincibility frames. And his ads that he sends out that you can get the combo with don't have a collision box. So your lock-on dash literally goes inside of them. And if you try to attack, your attack is outside of their body. So if you dash towards them like you do with every other enemy in the game, you literally cannot hit them.
So, but you do, once you pull it off, you are basically beating the final boss with 1 hit.
Yeah.
I do think that like narratively speaking, that's like so badass.
Narratively speaking, it's badass, and it's great in most of the other fights. It's just the final fight, you have to have like the luckiest of timing to actually get that set up. Because I don't know how many attempts I did in the end of the day. It had to be 50 plus. And like I had maybe 2, 3 chances to try to get the kill in at all. Every other time that I set everything up, he just had iframes, and the combo only lasts for 4 seconds at the most. So it was just an exercise in frustration, because like your sword by itself does like such a minuscule amount of damage. It's just not even worth trying unless you have a combo going. So it's just like, oh well, it's either got to be perfect or nothing, I guess.
Yep.
And that genuinely took me 5 hours to pull off. Like I had a couple of attempts that got him down to like 1/3 health, but then the actual run I did got the instant kill. So he had a tiny bit of damage, and that was about it.
Was it the type of finish where like you felt great about it? It's like, that was awesome, I finally did it? Or was it like, I'm done?
I popped off and screamed "fuck you" at the game so loud. I think I woke people. Reese literally messaged me, like, "Are you okay? Something happened?" I'm like, "No, I'm just beat that game I've been stuck on."
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes.
The funny thing is, like, I had played this game in like 2012, 2013, sometime when I was in the apartment, and I literally got to the final boss back then and gave up on it. Like, I don't give up on games all that often, so it's one of those rare cases where it's like this stumped past me, and I was happy to finally get past it.
You just woke up and you snapped the disc in half, and you're like, I'm done.
No, I like the rest of the game. The rest of the game I can easily recommend. I just can't recommend the final boss. Genuinely, it's like, play the game, don't bother finishing it. You'll have a great time.
Okay.
And with that done, I've been playing Sly 2, Band of Thieves.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I played the third one of the Sly Cooper games.
So this was the game clearing choice for March, so I'm working through that now. I was a little bitter when it happened because we ran March Madness. We ran a poll, and the ending games were Ratchet and Clank, Future, A Crack in Time versus Sly 2. And they're both considered, I think, the best in their franchises. So I'm like, come on, I love Ratchet and Clank. Give me Ratchet and Clank. And no, Sly Cooper crushed it. It's like, damn it.
I think I've played Crack in Time. That's not the most recent one.
No,
that was like PS3 or 4?
That's PS3. PS3. There's only one PS4 one, and that was the movie one.
Right, and I definitely played that one. Crack in Time might have been my first Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
But yeah, no, Sly 2 seems all right, because the first one was basically like a Crash Bandicoot-like game where you couldn't get hit unless you had like a horseshoe on your back or something like that. Yeah, it was very stealthy. This one balances between stealth and fighting. You play as multiple characters. You play as Murray and Bentley and Sly. And you kind of get this like sort of open world area where you have to like go around, try to find like these like hidden items and treasures and stuff like that to build up money so you can actually like buy upgrades and stuff like that. It's neat. I can see why people like it, but the first area just felt kind of slow to me. So I'm just curious like how the rest is going to be, because like I'm about to break into a ball in a little bit, and I had to collect all the pieces of a suit so I could go into like this black suit ballroom. And apparently there's like a dancing mini game with the cop that always tries to arrest you and all this. So I'm like, all right, well, this seems like it's gonna have a little bit more fun. It might be worth like the interest, because everything else up to this point's just been sneak, jump, punch, etc. So I'll see how it is.
Nice.
Cool.
Hey, speaking of dancing mini games, Paul, how is Split Fiction going for you?
It's going okay. That they do some cool stuff. I will say that so like the way the game is kind of set up, that from the stuff we played so far, is that there's kind of like a main story going on. It's like the futuristic, like Tron, like cyberpunk type thing or whatever, and there's like side stories that you can jump into in between like the main story stuff that I'm in right now. Every time I go back to that world, I'm kind of just like, I wanted to stay longer in that other side. So, like, those side stories are just fun and different, and like, it's just the setting, right? It's like a lot of like industrial, just steel and like crappy city streets in some parts. It's just,
well, you'll stop doing that eventually.
Yeah.
Have you done any of the fantasy stuff yet?
A little bit. So it starts, the first part you do is the trolls or whatever, and like that part's awesome.
Okay. In terms of like the main stuff, you kind of go back and forth. So and they even mix those up in terms of kind of what you need to do during them. So
yeah,
it won't feel samey for very long.
Yeah. And the one thing I noticed that is exacerbated because I'm playing with somebody who doesn't play video games very much. So there's points where I'm kind of waiting for them to like do a thing so I can do a thing.
And you're just like yelling at them like, jump, just jump twice.
No, it's not even that. It's in the first major story stuff, one of the characters has like this cool whip thing, and they focused a lot of like stuff around that character doing the whip thing, and my character just hits stuff with a sword. So it's just like, I'm waiting for you to do a thing so I can do one attack, and then I'll wait for you again for 10 minutes to do the next thing so I can do one attack. And like it's been feeling pretty one-sided of like, I should have probably played that character because it expects a lot more dexterity stuff from you, whereas I just like walk up to something and smack it.
Okay. I mean, that'll change too. Your abilities will change.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Like there's in particular one boss where literally you're just like using the one ability to do everything, and then like the other character just smacks it once, and then you do everything again, and then the other character smacks it once. With like, Man, I can't wait for a boss where I do more than one fucking thing and wait for 5 minutes.
There will be.
Yeah.
There will be. It seems like you're still pretty early on, so yeah, you have they I think they do a really good job of evening out like how many times people get to be kind of the important one.
Yeah. I
And
will
they even
say,
mix it up like
Hmm?
go ahead. Go
oh,
ahead.
I was going to say, I will say there is a part where you are pigs and then
Yep. Yep.
you turn into a thing. And I was just like, this is great. They went all out with this dumb little part and I love it. Yeah.
Yep.
That game's cool. It's very cool.
It's cool. So yeah, I finished it up this week. That last stage, which I guess is kind of like a really long boss fight,
Mhm.
is like really cool.
Mm.
Just from a like trying to see how I can describe this
Yeah.
without like spoiling anything.
Yeah.
Okay, you know in Titanfall 2,
Yes.
when they did the time level and you were
Yes.
like, this is really cool.
Yes.
It made me think of that in terms of I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm just
No.
saying this was also really cool in terms of a like, you don't really see this, and it's not like technically that you don't really see this, and they're just doing some really cool stuff that could only really be in like a video game.
Sure, like it's outstanding in a way that like maybe the rest of the game isn't because it's just so different or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the rest of the game is bad in any way. I just
Right.
think this is like a very memorable game
Memorable.
in terms of some of
Yeah.
the cool stuff. Hazelight had some like a ton of cool co-op ideas of like how can we put two people on the screen and make that interesting?
Yeah.
And they kept doing it throughout the whole thing, and then it kind of crescendos in that last area.
I'm sure the platforming stuff I found very, very fun. Of like, okay, I go here, now you move this thing, now you do this, and I'll shoot over here. Now I'll throw this ball to you, and you grab it and throw it in the air.
Yeah, yeah. So
Very
you're
cool.
playing Mio.
I'm playing
and then
Neo.
you're yeah. So I played Zoe. So when I go
Yeah,
through it
you
again,
were
I
doing
want
the
to play
cool shit.
Neo. Well, your stuff was also cool because you have all the like gravity changes and stuff, and I was like, I want to do that too.
That stuff is making me kind of like motion sick when I play some of it. There is some fucked up movement.
But I think it's so cool that they're so different
They
that
are.
like I could go back. Like it's a lot for me to say I want to go back and play through it again, and I really want to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I'm so far really enjoying it. Also, I think it's like, it's not like visually stunning and like, oh, these are the best graphics, but like the locations and stuff they set up are very cool looking. So I also enjoy how it looks quite a bit.
Yeah, John, you weren't here last week. Do you have any interest in Split Fiction?
I do, but I don't have anyone else to play with, basically, or I don't have any time put aside to do co-op like that. At the
Yeah.
moment.
Okay. It is cool. I was telling you, I think it's my favorite Hazelight title. So.
Okay. Yeah, the only one I've played from them is Brothers. So.
Oh wow!
Even
So like not
even then that was
not the co-op
before.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are worth checking out for sure if you ever find the time. And person.
And
No.
the person.
I've always heard really good things. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
good.
cool. Also, like no one's doing anything like quite like that. So
That's kind of
it's like a unique experience that they kind of like have all the capital on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you play anything else, Paul?
Just a crap ton of Monster Hunter.
Okay.
Yep.
I still am not allowed to talk about Assassin's Creed, and now I'm also not allowed to talk about the first Berserker Kazan. So that was what I've been playing this week.
I'll talk about the first Berserker Kazan's demo, and that game seems way harder than I thought it would be because it plays differently than that standard Souls game, I will say. A lot of blocking and parrying.
The attack buttons are on the face.
They are
which
on the
kind of
face,
mixes it up a bit.
And the dodge isn't very good. They definitely want you to use the block a lot to counter. They want you to block and counter a lot because that's how you do like a lot of the good shit.
I found the dodge fine. You can also upgrade like every component. Like you can upgrade
Yeah.
the dodge, you can upgrade the blocks and stuff as well. Where does the demo end?
Demo ends after you fighting the main dude that you make a pact with.
I don't even know who that is. Wait,
Like
you start in like the snowy area?
You start in the snowy area and you have a voice in your head. You fight him and then you're like, we shouldn't fight. We should be brothers, basically. Like, lend me your power and I'll give you revenge. It's like, okay, cool. And then that's where obviously the game actually starts. It's about 2
Okay, so
hours
how
in.
long is the demo? Because I don't even remember that
About
part.
2
How long is the
hours.
demo? Okay, I should have passed that then. I don't
I'm sure you have.
remember that at all. I don't remember fighting the dude with the pact. Maybe it just kind of like passed over me or something. I didn't really pay
It was
enough
like a
attention.
knight dude. Think Sauron
Okay,
almost, like a humanoid Sauron, like in the giant armor with the sword and.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you fight a lot of like knights,
Yeah.
and some of them are bigger than they should be if they're a human. So I could have just like not paid enough attention during a cutscene or whatever. But I've got to be past that at this point because I put more than 2 hours into it.
That's fine. I didn't sign an NDA because I played a demo, so you don't risk anything. I'm just saying that game is cool,
Yeah.
but it was more stressful than I thought it would be because of it's just a different feel or whatever. I got the feel of it finally, and once you get the feel of it, it's pretty badass. Just like parrying every attack and then just doing some crazy damage right after and countering it. That's
It looks
awesome.
really nice. Like
It
all the
does.
like fun effects they're doing with the cell shading. Like
Yep.
it's a nice looking game for sure.
Yep, it looks cool. It has the different, like, think God of War. It has the different weapons that all have a different style and like things
Yep.
associated with them. You can upgrade all of that separately. One thing that's nice is that so at that final boss of the demo, I kept dying, but every time I died, I still kept the experience that I got from the last run. So I could start like being like, you know what, this move seems to be working good. I'm gonna pump this up. Sure enough, like that worked or whatever. So that's very cool that you actually keep the experience every run that you do.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that that's in the demo because then I'm free to talk about it, right? Yes, I think that is such a great addition to
It
the
is.
Souls-like experience because outside of like Elden Ring, where if you get stuck, the answer is go literally any other direction and you'll find something to do. You'll get more powerful, then you can come back.
Mm-hmm.
With your more typical Souls, where it's kind of like narrower.
Yeah.
If you get stuck on a boss, your only option is, well, I guess I will turn around and go do the dungeon again just to grind and get
Mm.
stronger. Yeah, but this one you can just keep going against the boss over and over again, and you'll keep getting like XP or whatever it is, and it's like lacrima or something like this in this game, whatever it is. You know, their equivalent of XP, and then level yourself up slower while you're practicing on the boss.
Right. So
And if you beat it, great.
you're getting
So like
better
you're
physically at doing that boss, but also number wise, you are being able to pump yourself up as well to do better. It's very good.
Yeah,
You
so
get
you're
a
not just hitting your
momentum.
head against the wall. You're actually getting to progress, and like oh, I love it. It's such a good change.
It's very good.
What do you lose when you die though?
Nothing.
So
Time.
you do lose all of your XP, but it is just kind of sitting there in front of you, so you can just pick it up again. So there is really no issue with losing against a boss. You just need to I just need to play better,
It's
or
just your
maybe I
time.
need to get stronger. What it is?
Yep.
It's just, yeah, I guess it's just time, but it's less time than it would have been in a different Souls game because what you get to keep doing is more interesting than I'll just go fight weak fodder enemy like 10, 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
No, I'll keep practicing it against the thing I'm literally stuck on.
Yep.
And you get a decent amount of experience.
You
It's like
do.
way more than you would get from fighting like 3 random dudes around the corner near the save check, like the checkpoint or whatever.
I got like
So
4 or
like it's
5
worth.
level ups or skill points while fighting that boss and learning it. Like you get a decent
Yep.
amount. Yeah.
Yep. And I love that they put the when you die and your little orb of experience is there, it's outside of the boss room. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
go in and grab it real quick. Like that was an annoying thing with Elden Ring is like sometimes you have to go in there, grab it, then use the recall or the item to keep it or something like that if you had a bunch going in.
Sure.
This one is just outside. Like it's just super friendly, which is
It is.
refreshing.
I will say the thing that was hard for me to get used to now that I remember is that when you expend all of your stamina, you go into an exhaustion mode where you're just completely fucking useless and open for every attack for 4 seconds. So you have to really make sure you don't get overexert yourself ever.
Sure. I don't know if it's 4 seconds. It might feel like 4 seconds
It's
because you have
forever.
a giant dude running at you.
It's forever.
But you do need to keep an eye on stamina. I mean, that's a Souls game. You need to keep an eye on stamina.
It's not that bad in any others because you literally stop. You can't even move away. You are stuck in that position.
Yep. He is hyperventilating for a little bit. That's true.
So once you get used to not expending all of your stamina and using some to maybe run away, you're fine usually. But that was hard to get used to for me. That game's cool.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
I'm looking
cool.
forward to being able to talk about it kind of in depth and stuff for sure once I've if that embargo's up.
That's like what, a week and a half, 2 weeks away. That's soon. It's like the 20-something, 23rd.
I know the embargo is about a week and a half from now, so I'm assuming the game comes out in about 2 weeks. I don't remember exactly.
Sure. Fair enough.
All right, let's talk about some news. This is the first one I got here. All right, we got a report over on Windows Central that there is a Xbox handheld coming this year.
That makes sense. Sure.
So this comes from Jez Gordon, who kind of covers all the Xbox stuff over at Windows Central. Pretty reliable, like, leaker when it comes to their sources and such. Let me find the exact bit of news here. So it is codenamed Keenan. Is what it's called. It sounds like it's not going to be Microsoft hardware. They are working with an OEM, so someone like an Asus and a Lenovo and MSI, but it's just going to be one of them, and they're going to be kind of doing the hardware, but it will be like an Xbox handheld in terms of, like, you will see the guide button on there, similar to how there's like a Steam button on the Steam Deck. So it won't be just like a, here's the Lenovo Legion Go Xbox edition. No, this will be an Xbox handheld, maybe from Lenovo or whatever it ends up being. That's kind of all the info we have really on the handheld. It sounds like it's going to be a Windows-based machine, and Microsoft is using this kind of as like almost like a testing ground for making Windows 11 more compatible on non-PC hardware. So getting it more used to, more modular, so that it'll boot right into some kind of Xbox store, PC Game Pass store, something like that. Similar to how the Steam Deck, while it can run a Linux environment, will boot into Steam.
Yeah.
This will be a similar. It'll be able to have Windows, which I think is the right call. I think you don't want to make a purely Xbox specific handheld.
Right.
That only does that. Because then all you're doing is kind of like, you're not even matching what the Steam Deck can do. You're coming to the party one step behind.
Right, exactly. So they're basically doing the Windows 8 thing again. Like, Windows 8 was kind of built so that it would also run on tablets with kind of the same infrastructure, but maybe the other way around now, where they have Windows 11, so they'll build a thing that maybe you can use on the go as well that works with some of it. Makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what from you guys? I know, John, you have a Steam Deck. Paul, you don't have a Steam Deck, right?
I do not.
What would you guys be looking for from an Xbox handheld?
Easy Game Pass. That's all I would need, because every game ever is on Game Pass that I would play on the Xbox.
Like, as long as it could install Game Pass titles, you're good.
Pretty much, yeah.
Game Pass and the games I own on Xbox.
Yes,
Kind of all I need.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a slam dunk.
Well, here's a question too: is this running Xbox for PC or Xbox console? Because there's a different game list for both.
Yeah,
that's true. I would if I had to guess, I would assume it would be based on the PC one, since it's going to be running it's Windows.
Based on the OS, yeah, I would assume so.
They might even break it out for a third tier though. Like, here's, some of these games are only compatible with
Game Pass Mobile or something.
One or the other.
Game Pass Mobile and PC. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like, I would assume, as they're growing the Xbox like Play Anywhere, they're trying to get everything kind of the same, that this would kind of just work itself out.
Yeah.
But who knows? That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, not all games are on their streaming service.
Right.
But they're adding more each time. They're adding non-Game Pass games more every month, it seems like.
Yep.
So it's kind of all slowly becoming one thing. But you're right, it is not 100% cohesive across the entire thing. I think I'm with you. If I just had access to, like, just being able to download Game Pass stuff, like, whenever I needed to. Like, I'm imagining myself, say I'm going on a trip, similar to how, like, I load up my phone with, like, a bunch of shows or movies that I want to catch up on. I just, like, load up, like, the last 3 months of, like, indie stuff from Game Pass that I didn't get around to. It sounds incredible. I mean, that's already what I basically do with my Steam Deck is, okay, what did I want to play? Let's just put those on the Steam Deck. But this would be stuff that I already subscribed to, so it's just waiting for me.
Give it the Portal functionality as well, of, like, I could run a game on my PC at home and just use it as, like, a tablet or whatever if I wanted to, or my Xbox.
Just stream it.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
all
Well, I'm
give
assuming
all
it
of
would have that since
cloud.
Xbox
cloud
already
gaming.
has a
Excuse me.
like they have like an official way of setting up
Yeah,
their streaming on the Steam Deck. So I would assume this is even more seamless,
I would assume so. Yeah.
much like the Portal. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm curious. I guess my big question is how it'll like differentiate itself too much from the Steam Deck. Like
Mm.
if you're someone who like I guess for Paul, for example, if you're primarily PC,
Hmm.
why would you not just get a Steam Deck before getting one of these? Like
Oh,
I'm curious what this would offer you.
yeah, sure. That being said, I would get a Steam Deck before one of these.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's what I would assume so. But I'm
Yeah.
just like they're gonna have to kind of make that argument for people, and I'm curious what that argument will be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But no word on performance or power. But there is a couple other things from this report. The second one and the next kind of big one is that we've already known Xbox has greenlit their next console. We got a date now, a year, 2027 apparently is when the successor to the Series X is coming.
Okay.
Huh.
Which would put it at 7 years, which is about typical for console generations. The last one was 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had kind of the PS5 Pro, which was last year, which kind of puts it at 4 years. So you could see that was kind of midway through 27, 28. Who knows what PlayStation is looking forward to. Sounds like no information on a successor to the S. Which makes me think the handheld would kind of take that spot.
Makes sense.
Which would make sense.
Totally. Give it a dock.
I think
it's
it makes
basically
sense.
an S
However,
anyway.
yeah, this would be less powerful than whatever a successor to the S would be, right? Because
Yes.
with battery and just what you can put in a mobile thing. And I'm kind of two thoughts with this. The first one is the S kind of shot my Xbox a little bit in the foot when it came to like developers needing to be able to port their games kind of down to it. Like we
Yes.
had that famous Baldur's Gate 3 one,
Yep.
where it didn't come out on Xbox because they couldn't get the split screen local co-op working.
Yep.
And then Microsoft basically said, okay, you don't have to it doesn't have to be feature parity. We'll allow you to bend the rules because you're the best game that came out this year, and it's embarrassing that you're not on our system.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, so this handheld would arguably be even weaker.
Unless it
So
had
maybe
a
they
dock
kind of get
that you plug it into that does upscaling or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I would assume they just go the Steam Deck route of you can plug a USB-C cable into this and then plug an HDMI cable in.
Yeah.
The end.
Uh-huh.
That's what I would assume.
Right.
That would allow them to sell it cheaper because they don't need to sell a dock with some processing power in there.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the S outsold the X every year.
Yeah.
So having that cheaper one seemed like it was good for them. So I don't know which way they go necessarily. There seems like there's a good argument both directions.
For sure. Yeah.
Yep. No information on that either, but 2027 is what they're looking at. They also, there's a quote in here that they mentioned new controller options, which we had heard like kind of leaks and rumors before in the past that they were experimenting with doing more stuff with their controllers. I would assume this is trying to get kind of more feature parity against the DualSense, since it's just like a more interesting and capable controller if you haptics alone.
Right.
But yeah, that's basically the report over at Windows Central. So I guess we'll see what happens. If this handheld is coming this year, I would have to assume that the June Xbox showcase we get each year has to announce it, right?
I assume so.
There's no way.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it comes out like this fall. So
Probably.
So I'm going to be down at Summer Game Fest. Maybe I'll get to see this thing in person.
No.
That'd be very cool. Niantic, we talked about this being a possibility, but it has happened. They have sold to Scopely, the Savvy Games Group, for $3.5 billion, all of their gaming assets over into Saudi Arabia now.
So that's the group that owns Monopoly Go, right? I was seeing someone mention that.
Yes.
I don't think so. Oh, sorry. That's the group does. Yeah, Niantic does not own Monopoly.
No, not Niantic. No, yeah, I meant the company that bought them out.
Yes.
I know some people got worried about that because they're worried because the monetization on that is pretty harsh at times. So,
Sure.
but also that was like one of the biggest earning mobile games of like the last year or something like that.
Yeah, there was
Yeah, I'm not.
crazy ads
Yeah, I
for
think I've
that
heard that
thing.
too. Yeah. Um. Anyway, I'm kind of curious what this means for Niantic going forward. I'm
Yeah,
surprised they wanted to get rid of Pokemon Go, since none of their other stuff really kind of took off.
yep,
But it is kind of a weird trajectory for Niantic when you think they had one of like the biggest games ever, and then they never got anywhere close to that ever again, despite teaming up with tons of big name IPs. Like they had a Harry Potter one, they had a
yep,
Minecraft one.
yep.
Both of those just shut down. Like so, just kind of a weird trajectory for Niantic.
Yeah, it's super weird.
I honestly, I'm wondering if we'll ever even hear from them again if they're just totally out of the game space. All right, South by Southwest was last week.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So Kojima was there to talk about Death Stranding 2, like you do at South by Southwest.
Sure. Okay, this is why I saw some like tweets or whatever about this. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he premiered a 10-minute long trailer that he edited, of course.
Mm-hmm.
naturally.
Yep. I don't know if you can call it a trailer if it's 10 minutes long, but anyway. We got a release date June 26th for Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, okay. I'll be there.
You'll be there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to restart that game and play through it on easy to go fast.
Okay. Yeah, fair
So
enough.
I'm ready.
Did you finish it at all? Or did you
No,
play
I
it
did
at all?
not know. I think I put about 20 hours into it. And that was when it
Yeah.
first came out, so years ago. So I think I
Redo.
restarted. I set it to like easy or narrative, whatever the easiest one is, and I just streamlined it as fast as I can.
And just ignore all the like not base building, but the road buildings that like anything you don't have to do, just don't even bother
Exactly.
with any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say hi to Conan once.
Mhm.
I'll say hi to Jeff Keighley once, and then I'll just move on.
Right, exactly.
Okay, back over to Xbox. This was from earlier today. They announced Copilot for gaming. This was on their like official Xbox podcast. I watched through the Copilot section. So this is obviously AI. It's just in the kind of concept phase at this point. I guess they're going to be showing off some of it at GDC, so maybe that'll be something I get to go see. It's basically like an assist for when
Yeah.
you're stuck in a video game.
I remember
It
them talking
reminded
about
me
this.
of the PS5's like help cards
Remote
thing.
share. Oh, okay.
No, the hint system.
No, like the hint system that I've never once used and no one talks about ever.
I found out about it about a month ago when I was playing through Demon Souls, and somebody was like, "Does this have the hint system?" I said, "What the fuck is the hint system?"
Yeah. No one uses that thing. And that's also like I think it's community generated, so like players have to kind of submit those like videos or
Oh.
whatever.
Okay.
I think it depended because like they wanted the studios to do them, but then obviously not everyone had the time for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right. Especially if it's like a multi-platform game, like why would they put any development time into like one specific platform unless Sony's gonna? So I think a couple of the games at launch, like I think Miles Morales had it kind of
Yeah.
heavily. But other than that, like that was like the last I heard of it. Anyway, this reminded me of that. It's when when you get stuck, but you could verbally ask Copilot like what to do, and they had a couple examples. The first one was Overwatch, where they're on like the character select screen, and then they're like, "Oh man, they picked whoever. Who should I pick?" And then the AI comes in and says, "Oh, you should play as Cassidy because this character and Cassidy go well together, and you've done very well on this stage with Cassidy before because of these abilities."
So that was going to be my question: is does it also take into account how you play? Because like I could play
That
Cassidy,
seems
but
to be
what if
kind
I
of the
can't
big
aim?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then just continuing with Overwatch, there would be scenarios where the character, like the player, got killed, and then he asked, "Whoa, what just happened?" And it'll be like the Sombra hacked you and then melted you with her machine gun. You should stay closer to your teammates when everyone else, or you should have fall back once most of the characters had been taken out to regroup, stuff like that. So it seems like it was correctly using terminology. It
Yeah.
had like strategy involved in there and whatnot. And then it would also recommend like different characters if you were like, this doesn't seem to be working. Who should I switch to? And they're like, Soldier 76 is a good counter to Sombra because he can self heal and shoot from afar. Blah blah blah. So it kind of popped up a few things. The other example they gave was Minecraft, where it seemed like someone kind of just playing for the first time, where they're like, "Well, what should I do?" And the thing was like, "Oh, you need to go punch a tree to get some wood. But what do I do with this wood now? You need to put it in this pattern to make like a pickaxe. Oh, okay. Where's my crafting bench? Oh, so that was another one of like the highlights. He was like, where did I put my crafting bench?" And the AI was like, "I can't retrace your steps for you because you don't have cheats enabled in the settings." So then he goes and enables cheats, and then the AI was able to like further help or something like that. Whatever it is.
Interesting.
Huh.
Again, these were all concept. I don't know if these were like happening in real time or if it was
Yeah.
just like this was kind of staged with VO or whatever. But this is what they're advertising that it could become. And then obviously there was a big emphasis on like it's only there if you ask for it. It goes away completely because they don't want it to like pop up and have you lose because there was a pop up in the way in a boss fight or blah blah blah.
Like Clippy.
and
Hey,
whatnot.
I see you're fighting Radon. Would you like tips on it? Like, fuck off. I'm trying to dodge here. Yeah.
Exactly. They said it was going to be coming to their like mobile games first.
Weird.
I don't think they mentioned which game. But they did highlight that. So no real word on when it's coming.
When this comes out, I want to play around with it and see how stupid I can get with some answers for stuff.
They had briefly mentioned one thing, and it was so brief that I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I interpreted it wrong, but they had said something like it'll be able to help you when you come back to a game or you're not sure where you are. And that's something I feel like
That would be a very helpful feature.
That'd be
Yes.
cool.
complain about all the time, where I come back and it's like, I forget how to fight. Is there anything that will tell me how to fight? Because you're asking me to like, we're near the end of the game here, and I need to be
Yeah.
really good at fighting right now. And no
Yeah.
game does that. I've never seen a game like pop up and be like, I see you haven't played this for, here's literally the number of hours because I'm a computer and I can count. Would you like a refresher on things you need to know? I've never seen a game do that. So if this had that, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then obviously it'll do the easy stuff where you don't need to like look up guides on the internet, and that'll hurt a lot of games journalism websites since they make a lot of money off guides at this point.
Like gaming X pros that would sell like coaching for games or whatever, maybe.
Or even
on
like
this
here's
schedule.
where
Backup career. No.
yeah, here's where all the like smithing stones in Elden Ring are.
Yeah.
If this thing just kind of knows it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's over to the left. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not as down on this idea necessarily as I think people probably would be, but more than anything, I want to play with it and fuck around with it myself and see how it is. If it's not obtrusive, then I'm usually fine with it.
I guess my big question is like, yeah, is it going to be useful? Because like
Yeah.
they something similar was on the PlayStation and no one used it and people forgot about it. And
True.
I'm curious if this is going to have a similar trajectory or what's the case going to be.
Yep. Agreed.
Moving on, we got a report from Bloomberg about the Switch 2. There's not a ton here other than they're also saying $400.
Yeah, 400
So,
US, and that's
saying
not counting tariffs, presumably.
Yeah, who knows how the tariffs will affect it. I'm going to assume, regardless of tariffs, Nintendo prices it at $400. That's still what I think. They're also thinking this is going to be a gaming's biggest ever launch, and I think I agree with that.
Ever? Really?
I think so. Yep.
I think it'll be big. I don't know if I'd go ever big.
What console
unless
do you think?
Unless the launch games are like incredible.
Yeah. I don't think they even need to launch with a game. This would still be the biggest launch ever. What console do you think it's not going to beat?
The Switch?
I think the appetite for a Switch 2 is bigger than the appetite for a Switch, because that was an unknown concept at the time. This is a known property. They get a better one now. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be as big. I think it'll still be good because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yep. BlizzCon has announced it's coming back next year.
Oh, interesting.
September 12th to 13th, 2026.
They have stuff to announce, I guess. Weird.
I guess 18 months from now they'll have stuff to announce. Yes.
Yeah. Weird.
And then last
Overwatch
story.
2 is one again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Overwatch 3. There was a Silent Hill stream. I put this in here in case Paul maybe watched it.
I did. It was all about Silent Hill F. And
yeah, are you excited?
In classic
about,
Japanese showcase tradition, they didn't tell us fucking anything. except to remind us that this is
That's what I
happening.
thought, so I didn't bother.
Yep.
Well, I understand it's in 1960s Japan.
Yes, we knew that already, though. This is all
did
stuff
you?
that
Okay,
they kind of like reiterated from before. Their trailer was a little bit longer this time, so that's cool. And other
There's a
than
Steam
that,
page for it now.
yes, you can wishlist it now. That's the big new thing.
The physical disc is $100 Canadian, apparently.
Sure,
For
makes
PS5.
sense. Yep, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to play it because it looks pretty good, but also they didn't show gameplay. So, like, does it look pretty good? Those cutscenes do. I'll tell you that.
Great. Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see more of it.
All right, that's news. Let's do some questions. Perspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And this first one comes from VGC Kenny, who writes, last episode, Sean said that he loves coming-of-age stories. This got me thinking. You could call the Persona games a coming-of-age story in terms of narrative genre. However, there is something that might complicate that definition, the silent main character. You, the player, are meant to imprint on them, so they don't have a full-fledged character of their own. You could argue that they go through their own arcs and grow by becoming parts of their world, but not to the same extent that a lot of the other characters do. All that being said, does it still fall into the narrative genre of coming of age, or is it just outside of it due to its nature? What other games can you think of that may or may not be outside the gray areas of perceived genres?
I would say it counts because usually when Persona does their anime series that pairs up with a game, they usually let the main character talk in that. So it's an implication of like it still carries.
Yeah, I think it would also count just because if the main character is a blank slate, they might as well not be a character, and then the coming of age is everyone else, which it sounds like they do a good job of having them go through these arcs. However, when I think of coming of age, Persona, they're putting it into like a different genre, whether it's with metaphor with fantasy or sci-fi or whatever it is, monsters, fantasy, whatever it is. That almost takes it out of coming of age, and it becomes more of, I'll just do metaphor because I have more familiarity with that. I would say that's more of like a fantasy game with like real characters who do go through stuff. Whereas I feel like a coming of age story, you have to kind of set it in a pretty typical like kid teenage setting. In like the real world almost, because a lot of that is like becoming an adult, dealing with parents, that kind of stuff is more the crux of the genre. Whereas when you're putting it in a fantasy world, it quickly takes like a backbone to, we need to show off ogres and monsters and fairies and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like when I think of coming of age, I almost think of slice of life are kind of very similar.
Agreed. Suku writes, due to a curse, you're only allowed to have one fast food meal a year. What would you choose? The meal can be as big as you want, but you must finish it in one sitting.
Gourmet pizza.
Gourmet pizza. Are you going to get enough vitamins from that? This is your only food.
It's only fast food meal.
Yeah, only one fast food meal. So you still
get to make meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I took this as this is the only thing you get to eat for a year.
No.
Oh God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be.
If that's the case, I don't care. Don't.
In that case, I will be dead.
Food. I'll just keep making my own food. I'm trying to think. Is there a fast food that I like eat routinely?
I mean, if you can't think of fast food, like, is there a junk food that you eat at all?
No.
One fast food meal a year.
Like, I don't know. I guess I was gonna say like a Subway sandwich.
I guess that's fast food.
It's even a while since I've been to Subway.
For some reason, I always
Subway's
think
absolutely fast food.
drive-through. So I always think drive-through immediately for fast food. But yeah, like a Subway would count as well.
There are some Subways with drive-throughs. There's actually one here in town.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I've never seen that.
Me neither.
Okay.
That's cool.
So is there like a camera? Like, no, I want more pickles. I can see how much you're putting on, and I want more.
You just gotta trust them. You gotta trust them.
Subway kind of changed recently, where you order like prefabs. You can get them to change things, but you order a thing and they'll just make it for you.
Yeah, they got like all new.
They have a menu.
No, they still take it like across the counter and
they will
put it.
Yeah,
building it.
Yeah.
They got more pre-builds now. So
But like you can order like whatever sub, and then they'll just fill it with everything that's on there unless you tell them otherwise.
Okay. What
Which
are you picking, Paul?
I don't know, maybe like Five Guys or something. I like a good burger, so probably go with that.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, see, when I initially interpreted this as this is the only food, that's another reason I was picking
no,
Subway.
no.
Actually, I was thinking maybe that would be too much bread and I should pick something rice-based.
Right, for your only food? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I can eat. Yeah, something like some kind of chicken and rice with some veggies in there just so I don't die.
Yeah, if you
No,
wanted to
this
just
is,
do a
they're saying
standard,
like a cheat day.
if you wanted to do
Sure.
like a standard chicken, rice, and veggies, and it had to be from a fast food place, where the hell would you even get that?
Well, I mean, we have like Panda Express.
Yeah, I guess Panda
For you,
Express.
for you guys, I don't.
Something
Do
like
you,
that.
do you have Panda
Top
Express?
Leaf.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, we have Panda Express.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we have like
I mean,
chocolate leaf and stuff. That's right.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of Chop Leaf, but you have
They
like
do
Edo
salads and stuff.
Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still?
Yeah, we have
Japan?
Ito. We have shoot, I don't remember what used to do like all the gyros and stuff or euros.
Oh, that was Greek Souvlaki.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh, like
Opa. Yeah.
Opas or something.
Opa. Yeah. Opa.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't have that.
Rasterman says, I recently went on a trip to see the glaciers and had a whale of a time. Not a pun. There were no whales present. While talking about it with someone else, they told me, yeah, that place is like you can take a photo anywhere and could use as wallpaper material. And I can see why. What other places you've been in can fit that description? Saying your hometown is allowed. Yeah, my
No, it's
hometown.
not.
Newfoundland. Newfoundland has
Oh,
so
okay.
many places.
I was thinking Calgary. I was like, no.
No, not Calgary. Calgary's got some nice spots. There's some nice
Yeah.
scenes where if you like, yeah, if you like seeing over fields or even like city shots, there's some great places. But Newfoundland, way more.
I would assume so for Newfoundland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Northwest Territories are pretty sick. Yellowknife is pretty awesome.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
Vancouver is
I've
incredible.
never been to any of the territories. Cool. I want to go there. Mine was going to be this this there was this castle in Germany called Neuschwanstein, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but it's about an hour and a half southwest of Munich. And when I was hiking up to the castle, that was one of the most like picturesque things I've ever seen. So that's the area I would pick.
Cool. Yeah.
And the last one from the Phantom Aegis. Choose a bad movie that you really like, the ideas behind, but the execution was horrible. Now, once you've decided, it's going to be remade. So which bad movie did you choose to be remade?
The Room and Plan 9 both came to mind immediately.
Okay. Bad movie that you really like the ideas behind.
I'm going to say the first Tron.
Okay.
Ooh.
I like
Would
the
you
ideas
consider
behind that.
Bad or just dated?
I've never been able to watch all the way through Tron because it is so boring. Like the pacing is awful, but the concept
It is a
real
surprisingly
cool.
dry movie.
Yeah. So I've never seen the second half of Tron. I've tried like twice. I just can't get through it. So I would love like a better Tron. And I mean Tron Legacy is cool. It's definitely faster. It's not great, but Daft Punk is there and they're rocking out while everyone's fighting, and that's a great scene. And the monkey paw curled, and Jared Leto's in the new one.
Yeah.
That guy's kind of weird.
Man, bad movie.
What are you guys picking?
I mean, I'm sticking with Plan 9 or The Room.
So listen,
It did.
Super Mario Bros. The first movie has some incredible weird things in it that don't. So the reason people hate it is because they went for this weird like cyberpunk neo noir like setting with like this like weird political theme going on. Like there's some cool ideas in there that were done poorly, but more importantly, they didn't fit the source material. So everybody's like, what the fuck is even going on here? I think you take some of those ideas, you can make some incredible stuff. Maybe like a weird B movie like Blade Runner or something, or like a dark city. Like you could do some cool things.
Is
in
Blade
that.
Runner considered a B movie? That's a pretty like
No,
famous.
you could
movie.
make a B movie like version of Blade Runner or something with some of those
got it.
ideas
I
and
see.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want it to become more Mario. You just want a better version of what they did do.
Yeah, I want them to like take away the dumb Mario things and just like make it, I don't like go harder into some aspect of it without having to feel like they're shoehorning this franchise in somehow.
Okay. I feel
Honestly,
like
yeah,
that's
like the Mario movie is actually pretty fun, so I could see that actually being a good time.
As a kid, it's the worst though because you wanted Mario, and that's
Oh
that
yeah,
shit
no, as a
is
kid, you're just
not-
like, what is this garbage?
yeah.
I mean, I watched it for the first time before the new Mario movie came out, so that I was ready and I knew all the previous lore.
Yeah, of course.
And then John Leguizamo didn't even show up in the movie. I felt so ripped off.
Yeah. What's up with that, man? Okay, that's it for questions this week. Thanks everyone who wrote in. If you want to write in for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
I guess Sly too, because it ain't going to Shinobi.
Not this week, yeah.
I'll give it to Monster Hunter until I finish Split Fiction.
Okay. I'm only allowed to give it to Split Fiction this week, so I will do that.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Although Split Fiction's awesome, and the ending was great, and so yeah.
Sure.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.